So this story takes place in the mid-90s. Daytime talk shows were everything. There were so many daytime talk shows, and it was so good. Oh, it was so bad too, because a lot of these daytime talk shows, they fed into the more like shocking stories that would make the audience just be blown away. What? Like shock value, right? Before clickbait was a thing, there was like clickbait with daytime talk shows. It was just out of control. It was great. I loved it. So the Jenny Jones show was on throughout the 90s, and the ratings were, I mean, they were pretty high. They were good. They were good. Okay. Her episodes covered everything from teens being too hot, my goth kid needs a makeover, teen by day, vampire by night. These were actual episode topics. I personally just lived for the makeover ones. Oh, I love the makeover ones. Like, my teen is a goth, and I want her to have a preppy makeover. Oh, yeah. Or the other ones where like really bad teenagers would come in and be like, I like to fight. And then they would send the teenagers off to boot camp. Golden. Now, Jenny Jones was going to be filming an episode about secret crushes. The plan was to surprise your crush on national TV. So this is where Scott comes in. I'm not quite sure how Scott found out about this show, but he did, and he wrote in wanting to be on this episode. His story was accepted, and he got the opportunity to be flown out and appear on the Jenny Jones show. So another man by the name of Jonathan Schmitz, he was 24 years old at the time. He agreed to appear on the show with his friend Donna, who was actually in on The Secret. So on March 6, 1995, the taping of the show had taken place. So Scott is on stage and John is in the back. He doesn't know that Scott's the one with the crush on him, okay? Scott's on the stage talking to Jenny Jones, just going over how he has this crush on this guy named John. He explains how he met John. He says that he went over to see his friend Donna at her apartment, and John was working like under her car or on her car or something. And Scott tells the audience that he immediately noticed John's hot body. Scott then like goes on to say that he just kept thinking about John and having all these crazy fantasies about him, like sharing a bottle of champagne, hanging out together on a hammock, just little things. But Scott said that he wasn't actually sure if John was gay or not. Now, at this time, John had absolutely 100% no idea who the secret admirer was. Producers of the show said it could be a man or a woman, and that it would be revealed if he came on the show. So, of course, when John hears this, he's feeling curious. Who could be my secret admirer? Like, someone likes me and I get to be on TV? Okay. So he said yes. Now, the actual show itself, it didn't air on TV for reasons that we will get into. Some clips were released by the media and also used for court purposes. When Scott revealed that he had a crush on John, John was obviously surprised and shocked to hear that Scott had a crush on him. Everything seemed like it was fine, but I guess according to John, when he found out that Scott had a crush on him, he played a cool professional, I'm on TV, no big deal. But deep down, he was livid. Now, it's said after the taping, they fly back home, and when Scott gets home, Scott went out for a long night of drinking, and then he didn't return home until like the early hours. And when he returned home, he found a spicy note that was left for him by Scott. Now, when John finds this letter from Scott, it just set John over the edge. John would say that Scott's homosexuality frightened him, and he felt humiliated and he felt really angry. So with all of these feelings John's having, just anger, humiliation, frightened, John immediately goes to the bank, pulls out cash, and then goes and buys a gun. So once John gets the weapon, he drives over to Scott's house. He goes to the door, knocks on the door, and he asks Scott, did you write me this note? You know, we're not 100% sure what this conversation looked like. So this is when John allegedly went back to his car. He sat there for a while, contemplated like what his options were. John then grabs his gun, he gets out of the car, he goes back up to Scott's house, and then he shoots him twice in the chest. Shortly after John shoots Scott, he calls 911 and he confesses to what he does. He's crying on the phone and he says, like, I just shot somebody. Yeah, so he calls and he tells them what he just did. Cut and dry, right? No, of course not, you fool. John's lawyer claims that John went out to drink with friends from work. After coming home in the morning, he found a note that was left by Scott, which said, quote, "If you really want to get off, I'm the only one who has the right tool." End quote. The next morning, that's when apparently John confronted Scott and ended his life. The Jenny Jones producer later testified that John called the studio the day after filming the show and told her that John and Scott had what producers referred to as a love connection. It was a match. They seemed to be really into one another from their perspective, I guess. For quite some time after Scott was killed, his family tried to make some kind of sense as to what happened. They really blamed the Jenny Jones show. So John's mother actually came out and claimed that Jenny Jones pushed into doing things he didn't want to do to make it look good for the audience. And if he didn't do that, then Jenny Jones would be very mad. In John's defense, he claimed that the producers of the Jenny Jones show, quote, ambushed him. And John goes on to say that he knew someone had a crush on him, but he assumed that it was probably his ex-fiance whom he was engaged to for a couple of years. So he was thinking, oh, it's probably her. Yeah, I'll go to the show. No big deal. And producers of the show said that they told John that it was possible that his crush could have been a man or a woman. And they said that they told him this and they stood by that. Oh, I forgot to mention, I am so sorry. John did get arrested. He got arrested and he was sitting in jail awaiting his trial. They were having a really hard time determining if John was mentally stable when he went after Scott. Lawyers claimed that their client was manic depressive and that he'd been up all night drinking and smoking pot before he killed Scott. So he wasn't in the right mindset before he did it. John's lawyers attempted to put the Jenny Jones show on trial to deflect guilt from John, and they discussed his issues with alcoholism, depression, and a chronic thyroid condition. They're just trying to deflect, okay? That's their job. That's what they're getting paid for. It's a shitty job. It's a shitty job. Could you imagine trying to stand up for the bad guys? I feel bad for those people because, how do you represent the bad guys? I would be like, sorry, man, you're on your own, but whatever. Okay, anyways, now here's the thing that I learned. This is what blew my mind, that this was a thing, because I had no idea this was a thing. The main defense they were claiming as to why John did this, and this is what it's called, don't come after me, it's called the gay panic defense. It's a thing. Let me tell you, gay panic defense, okay? What? Now, this sounds like an absolute joke, but surprise, it's a real thing. So gay panic defenses are legal techniques commonly used in court battles regarding actions committed against members of the LGBTQ plus community. In a gay panic defense, the defendant argues they lost control because of their victim's sexual orientation. You guys, and there are a lot of cases that have used this defense. Now, it helped John's defense attorneys sway the court and reduce his charges. Gay panic defense is permitted in every U.S. state except California, Illinois, and Rhode Island as of 2018. So let me double check that. They were having a really hard time deciding what to do with John. To us, I feel like to me, I can only speak for myself. It seems very cut and dry. He killed a guy. He called 911. He confessed. That's it, right? No, they were having such a hard time.